The government shutdown is now rippling into air traffic control towers in Newark, in Denver, and in Phoenix. Long delays due to staffing yesterday, according to the FAA. In Burbank, the air traffic control tower left completely unmanned overnight for roughly 6 hours.
We're beginning closing down the tower.
Is it because of the shutdown that you guys are going?
It's for staffing. Burbank Tower is closed.
Controllers in San Diego took over for Burbank, but the delays remained. California Governor Gavin Newsom blaming the president online, while in Washington, partisan fighting continues, with Republicans blaming Democrats for the shutdown.
The Democrats are the ones that started this.
As workers across the federal government, including air traffic controllers, go without pay. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says there's been a slight uptick of sick calls, resulting in flight delays.
If we have additional sick calls, we will reduce the flow consistent with a rate that's safe for the American people.
Duffy says he's heard from workers about their concerns.
They have bills they have to pay. So now they're thinking about that at the same time that they're controlling the airspace.
The National Air Traffic Controllers Union calls the ongoing crisis the latest example of how fragile the system is in the midst of a national controller shortage.
We do not have time to waste on the unnecessary distractions created by this shutdown. So our message is clear: end the shutdown.
The union says it's working with the FAA to mitigate disruptions, but the concern this morning, this could get worse, with the busy holiday travel season now just over a month away.
Traveling soon, we're tracking delays at major hubs across the country due to staffing issues as air traffic controllers are calling out of work as many are working without pay as the government remains closed. Looking to today, the FAA is warning that there could be potential delays at Reagan National Airport today, Philadelphia, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, San Francisco, LaGuardia, Newark, and Boston Logan. Now, this all comes on the heels of Tuesday, where the FAA reported staffing issues at airports in Nashville, Boston, Dallas, Chicago, and Philadelphia, along with air traffic control centers right here in Atlanta, Houston, and Dallas-Fort Worth. The Transportation Secretary is warning that this could be an issue that continues if the government remains closed, as he is anticipating more air traffic controllers calling out because they're working without pay.
If we have additional sick calls, we will reduce the flow consistent with a rate that's safe for the American people. This is having great impact, great concern, great stress.
The FAA says it's been delaying flights due to air traffic controller shortages. The Transportation Secretary blames the government shutdown. He says many controllers are calling out sick since they're no longer getting paid.
I want to see your flight not be delayed. I don't want you canceled, but our priorities are safety.
An FAA operations plan says that at least a dozen air traffic control facilities braced for shortages last night. The agency reports initial delays in Denver, Newark, and Burbank. Officials say the Burbank tower outright closed, forcing pilots to coordinate with each other.
The very same thing ended the 35-day government shutdown back in 2019, and controllers calling out sick led to ground stops and delays at some of the country's busiest airports. And when that happened, lawmakers reached a deal pretty quickly.
This time around, a deal doesn't appear to be in sight.
There's nothing to negotiate, just reopen the government.
Republicans say they won't negotiate with Democrats until after the government reopens. Democrats say that order of events, it doesn't work. They want to address health care costs in the very funding bill that would end the shutdown.
Both House and Senate Democrats are clear. We'll sit down anytime, any place with anyone from your administration, including the president, to get a resolution here.
This is a message for the government and the government only. You're fucking up my 21st birthday plans, so you need to get your shit together. I'm sorry, I'm crashing out right now. My 21st birthday is on Friday. I'm going to Vegas for it. And then also it's Miami's fall break this weekend, and it's also college weekend in Vegas. So literally like every school ever is going to be at Vegas this weekend. So obviously super excited to go hello. My parents just called me because they were supposed to meet me in Vegas for my 21st. Hey, I think we need to reschedule the Vegas trip. Like it's a horrible time to travel right now. The government is actually fucking up like air travel right now. I was like, don't piss me off. Do I kind of agree with them? Yeah. But I'm sorry. It's my 21st birthday. I need to be in Vegas. And again, it's fall break. So no, I'm not rescheduling. I'm still going to Vegas. I don't give a fuck. They're like, okay, we're not going anymore, but you can go. And if you get stuck, that's your problem. The main issue though is that I'm flying to LA on Thursday by myself because I need LA, I need Erewhon, like I need it. And then Friday morning I'm flying out of Burbank to Las Vegas. My friend is meeting me there and then my parents are supposed to meet me there, but obviously my parents aren't coming anymore. That's what the main airport is that's been all over the news that has been fucked up. It's had major delays because workers aren't showing up to work because they're not getting paid because of this stupid ass government shutdown. Burbank Airport. Of course, I just happen to be flying out of Burbank Airport by myself on Friday. If I get delayed, canceled, I'm fucked. Alright, I got plans in Vegas, like what the fuck you mean? I need to be there. And I'm literally gonna be stuck by myself. That's like major issue. Of course, the one airport that gets fucked up. I just happen to have to be flying out of it on my birthday on Friday. So I guess we'll see what happens. Deadass, don't piss me off, government. Like, what the fuck?
Delays and cancellations are worsening across US airports tonight, with some now slowing operations and even closing as the fallout over the government shutdown worsens. America's aviation authority is warning the country's third busiest airport, Chicago's O'Hare, will see delays due to a shortage of air traffic controllers in the coming hours, while airports in Newark, Denver, Burbank, Tennessee and California have also been affected. So far, 4,000 flights have been delayed, including 15% of flights to Las Vegas. The problem is the government shutdown. Air traffic controllers are considered essential and are required to work, but without pay, more are now calling in sick. And in some areas, there are simply not enough staff to cover shifts. The shutdown is now in its 7th day, with no end in sight. Around 750,000 non-essential government workers are furloughed, and this time there are warnings they may not get back pay or return to work at all when it's over.
They announced Chicago O'Hare Airport, all flights will be canceled. They don't have enough crew for the air traffic controller. We're seeing this in California, Nashville, Chicago. It's spreading fast. It might just become a nightmare to travel for the next couple of weeks, if not longer, as long as the lockdown, or I should say shutdown of the government continues. These people, even though they would get, back pay, don't want to be working working without a paycheck. I wouldn't want to work without a paycheck. If there's a way to make money immediately, and you can do that by not being there at a job that they're telling you you're going to have to wait to get paid, I personally would go do the other job that would pay me right away. But that would be me. I don't know that anybody's situation or what's going on there, if they just don't want to work, or they don't want to wait for back pay, or they have something better going on. Needless to say, traveling is going to get really, really hectic in the next couple of weeks.
Hi guys, this is Tiana and you're watching Tiana's React. So airports across America have turned into absolute war zones. Passengers stranded, flights cancelled, tempers flaring everywhere. All because the government shutdown has crippled air traffic control. People are furious, the chaos is spreading, and America's sky have never looked this dark. From New York to Austin, from Chicago to Nashville, travelers are stuck, pilots are confused, and air traffic towers are going silent. This isn't just a delay, it's a full-blown national embarrassment. Well guys, let's dive in and see people's opinions to this. But before we do, please do well to like, share, and of course, subscribe to keep the channel moving.
All across the country, there's delays, shortages, and cancellations. The only people that could possibly be excited about this is Spirit Airlines. They're sitting at the airport like, you were all talking shit. For years, you had jokes. We're all Spirit now. I bet they're all at the airport doing their best Bane impressions, like, I was born in the cancellations. Molded by them. I didn't see a flight until I was already a man. But basically what's happening is the TSA agents and air traffic controllers still have to show up to work during a shutdown, even though they're not getting paid. So a lot of them are saying, if I'm not getting paid, I'm going to call out sick, which is understandable. TSA have a hard job. You're going to run your hands up some guy's butt crack and not get paid? So things are getting a little hairy in the skies, but don't worry. Because we've got Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, former Real World cast member and somehow most qualified cabinet member. And he is on the case.
I'm here at Newark Airport about to go up into the tower and talk to some of our air traffic controllers.
Okay, cool video. I like that you used the music from a barbecue sauce ad, all right? But surely you aren't going to go up there into the tower and bother the air traffic controllers while they're working.
How does the shutdown impact controllers in towers like this, not just in Newark, but around the country?
I think the biggest thing is, it's just a distraction that we don't need.
Yeah. If there's one thing I don't need in a job like this, it's a distraction. The only thing more distracting than a shutdown would be if my boss showed up with a camera crew and made me do an interview facing away from the windows while I'm trying to land planes. But anyway, I interrupted you. Sean Duffy, you were trying to give these air traffic controllers a morale boost.
I have a wife that doesn't work, 2 kids at home. If I don't get a paycheck here in a couple of weeks, I still have to provide for them. So it's not something that I want to have to be thinking about.
Mortgage, car payments, utility bills, food, all issues.
I'm a working guy just like you are.
Not helping, all right? Damn, Duffy, he knows what bills he has to pay. You don't need to make a whole Destiny's Child song about it.
So now they're announcing they're going to shut down and do a ground stop at Chicago's O'Hare Airport because of shortage of staffing. They literally have no air traffic controllers. They're being forced to work without pay, so most of them are calling in sick. And now the airport has called a ground stop, I believe it's tomorrow, between 2 o'clock and 11 o'clock, where there will be no flights going in or out of one of the nation's largest airports. And this is all because of Mike Johnson and his government shutdown ordered by Trump because they don't want to release the files. And they want to make sure as many people as they can lose their jobs so they can call out whatever military order they're about to do. But yes, that's 2 airports in 2 days that have completely shut down. First Burbank, now O'Hare. Getting pretty hairy out there. Soon you won't be able to travel because all the airports will be shut down, and we've got military going to almost every blue big city.
So the federal government shutdown is affecting U.S. air travel. Like I kind of told you guys last week that this was possible. Well, the delays have started. The last couple of days, they have experienced delays at Denver, Burbank, and Newark Airport. People are calling in. They're getting a lot of sick calls, especially with the air traffic controllers, which is already a shortage. Burbank closed the tower altogether around 4 p.m. because of staff. So make sure that you have your airline app downloaded and they have your contact info so you are aware of what's going on. You probably want to check ahead and call your airlines to see before you travel if there are any delays. Praying for safe travels, and hopefully this is over soon.
We have breaking news right now. All flights going out of Nashville's airport will be severely delayed for an indefinite period moving forward as air traffic controllers continue to walk off the job essentially during this government shutdown. Nashville is now the latest airport to essentially be short-staffed, causing significant delays. According to CNN reporting, Nashville's air traffic control tower will go dark for periods of time this evening. It comes as air traffic controllers simply cannot afford to work right now. Chicago's experiencing soon massive delays. Nashville is telling its residents massive delays to come, and this is just the beginning. Folks, if air traffic controllers continue to walk off the jobs, you're going to have mass cancellations, mass delays by the end of the week, and maybe even sooner. So get ready for more. Subscribe to my Substack to support my work. Link in bio. Spread the word, and as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about. I'll have much more to come soon.
Right now, because of the government shutdown, the chaos at U.S. airports across the country is only getting worse today. We're now seeing delays across the country, from Nashville to Boston to Philadelphia, Chicago, and Dallas, and other airports. The FAA has begun to even slow takeoffs at several airports as air traffic controllers are essentially calling out sick, not coming to work. They're furloughed, where their essential employees forced to work without pay. Many of them just can't afford it. And as a result, America's air traffic system really is on the verge of crippling. Right now, we're experiencing the first impacts of the government shutdown. This is only going to get worse. The longer a government shutdown lasts, the worse it will be for air traffic in America. We'll see mass delays, mass cancellations, air traffic controllers simply not showing up to work. So this is a pretty big deal right now, especially if you're about to take a plane. So just be aware, spread the word. Full breakdown on my Substack link to bio, subscribe for free. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. More to come soon.
They announced Chicago O'Hare Airport, all flights will be canceled. They don't have enough crew for the air traffic controller. We're seeing this in California, Nashville, Chicago. It's spreading fast. It might just become a nightmare to travel for the next couple of weeks, if not longer, as long as the lockdown, or I should say shutdown of the government continues. These people, even though they would get, back pay, don't want to be working working without a paycheck. I wouldn't want to work without a paycheck. If there's a way to make money immediately, and you can do that by not being there at a job that they're telling you you're going to have to wait to get paid, I personally would go do the other job that would pay me right away. But that would be me. I don't know that anybody's situation or what's going on there, if they just don't want to work, or they don't want to wait for back pay, or they have something better going on. Needless to say, traveling is going to get really, really hectic in the next couple of weeks.
Some new information right now from the FAA about issues now at Reagan National Airport. As a result of the ongoing federal shutdown, we're seeing staffing issues at airports around the country and now at DCA. The FAA sending out an alert that they're having staffing issues at DCA. And as a result, there are delays for planes getting in and out of the airport. Delays right now at about 32 minutes, but it could get worse as we know that these staffing issues continue. The reason why we're seeing staffing issues at airports around the country is because air traffic controllers are considered essential workers, so they have to show up to work even though they aren't getting paid. And there's no telling when they'll get a check as this government shutdown continues. Other major cities have also seen delays at their airports as a result of staffing issues with those air traffic controllers. Houston, Newark, even Las Vegas, among several. We've reached out to MWA for a statement. We'll pass it along as soon as we get it. Like and follow for more.
These are the airports that are experiencing the most air traffic control delays right now in the United States. You should know these airports and know if they're a hub for the airline that you're flying. So, for example, if you're flying Delta, Atlanta is a big hub for them. That will impact everything in their network if there's delays in Atlanta, because a lot of times your plane will be going from Atlanta to, say, Chattanooga or something like that. Same with Newark, right? So Newark is a big United hub. If you're flying United, you should know that that could cause you to be delayed, even if you're not flying out of Newark. A lot of times you can go on the airline's website or app to see where your plane is coming from and if it's coming from a hub that is delayed. Thanks, guys. I'm Jet Setter Jake.
Now Atlanta Airport has been shut down, and if you know, you know. That's one of the biggest airports in the nation. And how many flight delays is that going to create nationwide? Are we going to get a nationwide airport shutdown? I mean, I wish somebody would tell us. Just fucking say it already. Like, I've already postponed my trip. Some of you know I had a flight coming up early November. It's my birthday. Was going to take the family and do something fun, but I'm not getting stuck at the airport for God knows how many hours. So I'll postpone that shit until they work all this shit out. Because I hate airports, period. And then to think that I have to spend there an obscene amount of time just because, and they're trying to blame the Donald for this. But we all know it's Chucky who wants all the funds for healthcare. And for the undocumented, we don't even care what they say. At this point, shut it all down. But at least be nice enough to tell people, hey, we're shutting it all down. So people could at least plan accordingly, because that's bullshit.
So now they're announcing they're going to shut down and do a ground stop at Chicago's O'Hare Airport because of shortage of staffing. They literally have no air traffic controllers. They're being forced to work without pay, so most of them are calling in sick. And now the airport has called a ground stop, I believe it's tomorrow, between 2 o'clock and 11 o'clock, where there will be no flights going in or out of one of the nation's largest airports. And this is all because of Mike Johnson and his government shutdown ordered by Trump because they don't want to release the files. And they want to make sure as many people as they can lose their jobs so they can call out whatever military order they're about to do. But yes, that's 2 airports in 2 days that have completely shut down. First Burbank, now O'Hare. Getting pretty hairy out there. Soon you won't be able to travel because all the airports will be shut down, and we've got military going to almost every blue big city.
Let's talk about FAA air traffic controller staffing. We have seen an increase in what the FAA calls staffing triggers, basically staffing shortages at FAA facilities. We're seeing that more often than we normally would, and our data unit has been tracking this since the shutdown began. We have noticed a marked increase in these staffing triggers since the shutdown began. We have not seen that result in massive cancellations or an area being paralyzed like we saw about 30 days into the 2018-2019 shutdown, but we're seeing these staffing issues show up much sooner than we did then. At this point, air traffic controllers are working without pay, but they have yet to miss a paycheck, and already we are seeing staffing issues. Most notably, we saw it at Burbank Airport, where that tower went to ATC 0, and what that means is basically for at least part of a shift, there were no controllers in that air traffic control tower at a fairly significant airport in the Southern California area. Controllers at other facilities handled the flights, but there were significant delays. However, that wasn't the only staffing shortage yesterday. We saw staffing triggers at airports like Newark Airport. That's not terribly unusual. We saw it in Denver. That's a little bit more unusual. We saw it here in Phoenix. That's unusual. Also Indianapolis, Washington Center, which is a air traffic control facility outside the Washington, D.C. area. And our data team has noticed we've seen an increase, sometimes 10 or more of these staffing issues on any given day since the shutdown. That's atypical. Now, the Air Traffic Controllers Union says what we saw on Monday was normal, that it's normal to see some number of sick calls on any given day. The data would indicate that what we're seeing is not normal, that we are seeing an elevated number of sick calls. That's resulting in an increase in delays. We have not seen a spike in cancellations. We have not seen yet what happened towards the end of the last lengthy shutdown, where the New York City airspace was essentially paralyzed because of air traffic control staffing issues. But we're seeing this all start to play out much earlier than we did in 2018, 2019. So it's something we're watching very closely. Bottom line for flyers, when there's a staffing issue, there aren't enough people, the FAA will slow down the number of flights going in and out of that airport or passing through that region. That means delays for flyers, but they slow it down to maintain safety. Right now, we're seeing some delays.
Guys, this shutdown isn't just politics. It's people's life, families, and dreams left hanging mid-air. While leaders argue Americans are paying the price, if this isn't fixed soon, the so-called land of the free may find its airports completely grounded. Because right now, America is not flying. It is falling. Well, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Please do well to like, share, and of course subscribe to keep the channel moving. Till next time.